Welcome to another edition of the Dr. Bowser Basketball Podcast, powered by Sports Guys Iowa. We've got a great one for you today. It is Heart of America Conference Tournament Week, and the Graceland University men's basketball team clinched its first outright Heart of America Athletic Conference regular season championship with a win over Baker University on Saturday night, securing the program's first number one seed in the Heart Men's Basketball Championship. The number 25 ranked Yellow Jackets finished conference play at 17-3 and improved to 23-5 overall. William Penn, on the other hand, finished the regular season at 16-4 in conference play and a 22-6 overall record and the number 2 seed. So the bracket is out. The stakes are real. And we've got two of the voices behind the scenes in the Heart of America Conference joining us today from number 1 seed Graceland University, Sports Information Director Matt Shelton, and from the number 2 seed William Penn University Statesman, Sports Information Director Seth Crook. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So let's dive in. Let's start big picture. As fans of small college basketball in Iowa, it's kind of exciting for the sports guys to see 3 schools from the state of Iowa as the top 3 seeds in the Heart of America Conference, in Graceland, William Penn, and Grandview sitting at the number 3 seed. So let's take a look at the first round matchups really quick. 1 versus 8, Graceland versus Peru State. 4-5 matchup is Missouri Baptist and Central Methodist. The 3-6 matchup is Grandview and Missouri Valley. And on the bottom side of the bracket, William Penn at number 2 versus Benedictine. Matt is the number 1 seed. Talk to us a little bit about the matchup and what it's like to have that first conference championship under your belt.
Matt, you're on mute. Just pick it up from what the question that Chris asked, okay, and you're good.
Yep, I got you. It's certainly been a fun time on campus, with Graceland clinching its first conference championship, first outright conference championship ever, even back to the 2018 year where we won the national championship. It kind of came, they did win the conference tournament championship that year, but it kind of came out of nowhere a little bit. It was kind of a magical ride this year. Then last year, Graceland had a really good team as well, but this year they've kind of led from the beginning. Penn definitely pushed Graceland to their limits, and it came down to that last week after we saw the PRS standings. I thought, it was interesting to see that Penn and Graceland both won, and it still cut the lead to just, I think, 0.05 of a point, at 4.30 to 4.25. So had Graceland lost on Saturday and Penn won, I think it would have been a share for the conference championship, and Penn would have gotten the number 1 overall seed. So, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time. Tournament basketball is always fun, and Coach Lawrenson and his staff have done just a fantastic job at Graceland. I mean, I coached basketball at Graceland from 2008 to 2014. And these last 7 years have been unbelievable. After we had some decent teams when I was there, but man, it's sure taken Craig Doty and his staff since then have really taken basketball to a new height at Graceland. So fun times for sure.
Good stuff. And so Peru comes in as the 8th seed. And so obviously, the Yellow Jackets are probably favored, but Graceland took down the Bobcats on November 19th in Lamoni, 74-57, but it's their only matchup of the year. Do you recall anything about that matchup or anything that will come into play tomorrow night as you host them, Peru State, again?
Well, first of all, that's been kind of a rivalry that's brewed over the last few years between Peru State and Graceland. That's who Graceland beat, knocked out of the tournament last year. That's who Graceland beat in the conference tournament championship in 2018. So there has been no love lost between those schools over the last couple of years. And it really has kind of turned into a rivalry as Peru State's gotten really good, and so has Graceland. I watched that game online, and Graceland kind of controlled it from the beginning, but you get into conference tournament play like this, and certainly Graceland knows what's in front of them, but they've already locked in the number 1 seed. And anytime you're playing desperate like Peru State will be, I mean, you just can't ever guarantee anything. And so I'm sure they'll come in ready to play, and hopefully it's a raucous crowd. We're excited to host them, and it should be a great game. Usually, it doesn't matter what seed you are. Once you get into the tournament, it's usually pretty solid games.
And so talk to us, we had Coach Lorenzen on the pod last week, but talk to us a little bit about, from your perspective, right, a former coach and now an administrator, about his preparation style maybe for tournament play.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he approaches every game. His take is, I don't care if it's the first game of the season or the national championship game. We're approaching every game like it's the most important game of the season. And his preparation, along with Coach Dickman, the guys I've been around, I was in Southern Kansas at Southwestern University when Coach Doty was there. And even though I was along for the ride, I really didn't get the chance to be at his practices more than just a couple of times. Coach Lorenzen is as prepared. He is so detail oriented. As a basketball coach myself, it blows my mind to watch him work, because every single thing he does is with intent and thought out. And he just does a great job of preparing his kids. They're going to play their style and their way, and he's not one that's necessarily going to change a lot. His game plan, depending on who they play, his theory is more, you're going to have to beat us the way we play. And yeah, he's just been a fantastic coach for Graceland since he got there. I think this is his fourth season.
Well, so as we're making predictions, let's make the assumption that we go chalk in the first round, right? And that Graceland takes care of business. Let's look a little bit let's look to that other 4-5 game on your side of the bracket. So MoBap versus Central Methodist. Do you have any thoughts on how that game might play out and who you think might come out of there to face Graceland in the second round?
That's interesting, because Matt Sherman, the head coach at Central Methodist, coached with me for a year at Graceland. He was actually an assistant for 1 year. And obviously Missouri Baptist and Graceland have split this year. Missouri Baptist just beating them a couple of weeks ago down in St. Louis. That's going to be a dogfight, to be real honest with you. You get that 4-5 game, and it's really a coin toss. I haven't had the chance to see Missouri Baptist play as much as I have Central Methodist this year, but they're both talented and both capable. I watched the last few minutes of the Missouri Baptist game a couple of weeks ago when Graceland lost, and they really kind of led that game wire to wire. They definitely controlled it wire to wire. In some ways, that might help Graceland. The old adage of it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season, may ring true there. Whoever they get in that game, assuming Graceland can get past Peru State, whoever they end up playing, it's going to be a formidable opponent for sure, with a little extra juice probably than the average team, just because, again, MoBap and Graceland were tied before Christmas for the conference lead, and that was their first loss when Graceland beat them before Christmas. And then, Graceland losing to them last week or a week and a half ago. And then, you have the Matt Sherman thing. We're coaching at Graceland. There's always a little bit extra when you work somewhere. And so whoever they get, it's going to be a great battle, I'm sure.
Awesome. And so let's swing over to the William Penn side of the bracket, and let's bring in Seth. So William Penn has a great year. We had Coach Henry on the podcast a handful of weeks ago, and I do believe that after he was on the podcast, you guys went on like a 7-game winning streak. So we'll take a little bit of credit for the 2 seed here on Sports Guys Iowa. But talk a little bit about maybe your thoughts. You guys actually lost at Benedictine in a road game on November 15th, a close 5-point contest in Atchison, Kansas. Talk about maybe what's different about the Statesmen today and how they will approach a team that they haven't seen since November.
Yeah, this team has made a lot of leaps and bounds from the beginning of the year, especially bringing in pretty much a whole new cast. Coach Henry said it. I talked with him a little bit as the day was going on, and just touching on it, he's went back and looking at that Benedictine game, told his guys, like, hey, we're a couple games away from being regular season conference champs if we win this game. And back in November, the whole team was telling them, like, hey, you're crazy. Like, it's just one game. And being the veteran that Coach Henry is, he knows what he's talking about. And being a former student here at William Penn, working here on the faculty now, I've been able to witness this team or just this conference is a beat. Anybody can get it any given night. You got to come out and play your best basketball. And it's really tough when you only play a team once. You kind of can't get that the extra look that you want going into postseason play, especially when we are Benedictine is no unfamiliar sight when it comes to playing in the opening rounds or the final in the conference championship. in the heart.
Well, and moving on to the semis on your side of the bracket, if William Penn gets to take care of Benedictine, it looks like they'll take on the winner of Grandview and Missouri Valley. And the Statesmen and the Vikings have split the regular season, each other winning on each other's home court, actually. And so Grandview actually came into Oskaloosa a couple of weeks ago and won in the toilet paper game. And so kind of talk a little bit about if William Penn is able to move on, and let's say Grandview takes care of business in their first round matchup, what would it look like in Oskaloosa for a William Penn Grandview rematch?
I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure that everybody on campus is at least looking forward to that possible matchup. Can't really put too much credit against Missouri Valley. They gave us a pretty close one the other night. Devin Davenport is an absolute hooper. He can give it to you. He gave us 50 points here at home. And then Lucas Helms on that toilet paper game for Grandview gave us 27. And he was pretty much getting to any spot that he wanted to and was able to give it. I know, at least from a storyline kind of guy, I always enjoy those storylines of, okay, you guys got us on probably our biggest game of the year and our most put out, publicized game of the year in the toilet paper game. All credit to them walking into our place and beating us on our biggest game. But I know that postseason play has a different feel to it. And I know that guys on the team, people on campus are really looking forward to that possible rematch here in Oskaloosa.
So let's talk about if chalk holds, right? If the 1 and the 2 seed do their business for opening round and semifinals, we will get version number 3 of Graceland and William Penn. And it's been, the regular season matchups were 2 very hotly contested games. William Penn was able to sweep the regular season. And so let's talk about, both you guys, your thoughts on a potential championship game between Graceland and William Penn. Matt, we'll start with you.
I think one of the biggest things for William Penn, first of all, is always competitive. Ironically, I coached against John Henry when he was at Twin Cedars Bussy, and I was at Lamoni in like 2000, 2001, something like that. So there is that little tidbit. Graceland didn't have their leading scorer and best player, Cole Bowen, for either game, the returning conference player of the year. He was out for both games, hurt his knee right after Christmas. And Graceland certainly got, by the second game, definitely, they were used to with not playing with him. But he'll be a huge boost back for them. I mean, he's been just an absolute beast since he returned. I think this was his 4th game. He had 35 the other day against Grandview, and just having him on the court, his leadership. I mean, I told Coach Lawrenson the other day, if you were to open up the dictionary and look at any high basketball player, I think Cole Bowen is the picture you'd see there. I mean, he just does everything right. He sees the floor well, he rebounds, he can shoot it, he's physical, he finishes at the rim. That'll be a huge lift for Graceland. At the same time, talk about a rivalry. I would say William Penn and Graceland has really become a rivalry. And, I think you can throw records out the window. You can throw just about everything out the window, because if those 2 teams go at it again for a conference tournament championship, I think you'll see I'm a little worried about a packed house. Graceland will be on spring break, so that could be an interesting twist. I don't know where Penn's at that day, but Graceland's campus could be a little bit dead for that. But it'll be a fun game regardless. And I certainly think, it'll be fun to see it go chalk. Both teams are going to already be in the national tournament at that point. And it certainly would be exciting to see. And I'm all for round 3. I'm hoping the adage of it's hard to beat somebody 3 times in 1 year proves right for Graceland, but who knows? We'll settle it on the court if we get there.
You bet. Seth, what about you? What are your thoughts on a potential third matchup with the Yellow Jackets?
I mean, Matt said it. Trying to beat a team 3 times in the season is always tough, and it doesn't matter what where you're at, what sport that you're doing. All hats off to Graceland. They're a phenomenal team, and losing a guy like Bowen for our matchups against them, it was a tough blow, but they were able to keep their heads on and able to finish out the regular season pretty strong. This is a rare time in the conference, especially with there have been Graceland wins. It's 4 different tournament champions in 4 years. and regular season, it's been four for the past four different teams the past 4 years. Like Matt touched on it, it's starting to become a rivalry. I mean, I know here at William Penn, we got William Penn versus that team from Des Moines and Grandview, as we like to call them. But it has become Oskaloosa versus Lamoni, William Penn versus Graceland, and everybody marks their calendars for it. And it's always fun being on the front lines and seeing it happen. And come third time around, it will be in Graceland. I didn't make the last trip down, but I wish I did. Third time's around, if it gets all the way there, I'm probably making the trip down to Lamoni.
Right.
And it's going to be an absolute barn burner. Like Matt touched on it, both teams will be in the national tournament, and who knows, anything can happen when it gets down to Kansas City, or at least after the opening rounds. It's exciting basketball, which everybody wants to see, and I know here in Oskaloosa, everybody loves it.
That's awesome. So you guys have actually kind of stole my thunder. That was going to be one of my questions, for regardless, but let's hope that the 1 and the 2 seed get to the championship game, and regardless of who the outcome is, you guys really have a good sense that the runner up then has a good opportunity for an at-large into the NAIA tournament.
I think it's automatic, right? The conference is guaranteed 2, and if the same team can't win the conference and the conference tournament, so the second team would get in automatically. So because Penn was second in the conference, it would be second in the conference tournament. I'm pretty sure then they would be the automatic second berth. Is that right, Seth?
Yeah. I'm not trying to toot William Penn's horn or anything, but when years and years ago, when it was William Penn's league to win or bust, and we win regular season and we get to the conference title, or the conference tournament championship, if it was us in the 1 seed, it'd be, or us in the 2 seed. The 2 seed got the bid. So for us, I know we are looking to improve every game, treat every game like we don't care what our record is and win. But for right now, getting to the championship game is the last thing on our list. It's just put one game ahead of us at a time. But if it's able to get to us in Graceland in the championship game, we're not going to complain because we get the auto bid. But go out and try to win it again. First time winning it since 2022-23 season. That'll be a big leap for this program, which is well needed after years and years of success, which I've been fortunate enough to be a part of and see firsthand.
Well, gentlemen, I don't want to make you pick against your own team, but if it's not William Penn and it's not Graceland, is there a team that you think could kind of shock the world and win the Hart Conference tournament and steal that auto bid to the national tournament? Matt, I'll start with you.
I would say Missouri Baptist.
Okay.
Baptist is a really solid team from what I've seen. Again, they shoot it well. They're balanced. Like, they play great defense. That's where they really impressed me, was defensively. That would be a team, I would say would certainly be a sleeper. Grandview as well. I don't know if I'd call that a sleeper winning at the 3 spot, but Grandview is very talented as well.
All right, Seth, what do you think?
Matt touched on it really good. Missouri Baptist gave us our lowest scoring game of the year. So defensively, they are monsters at it. And Grandview as well. Grandview does a lot of things well. And it's not to discredit anybody else in this conference tournament. Everybody can win it. Peru State won it a couple of years ago. I know Baker's having an off year. They won it last year. And Mid-Am was just on the outside looking in. But from Peru State, Missouri Baptist, Central Methodist, Grandview, Missouri Valley, and Benedictine, any one of these teams, if they have it that night, they have a chance to go and win it all. So I've touched on it. Anybody in this conference can get it. You have to step on the floor and you have to give it your all. No pushover in the Heart of America Athletic Conference.
Well, I agree, and I love postseason conference basketball tournaments. Everybody loves the national tournament, but the postseason conference tournaments are really, boy, I'll tell you what, they're intense. If you thought the regular season was intense every game, it's ratcheted up a little bit in the conference tournament play. If I was going to give a take, I would say I'm It feels like a collision course between William Penn and Graceland for the championship. But I would give my nod to Grandview if there's going to be an upset. I think it might be the Vikings, and so we'll see if any of us are right. After we have opening round tomorrow night on the 24th, semifinals on the 27th, and the championship game on March 2nd. And so highest remaining seed is the host for that championship game. And so should be a lot of fun. So you guys will be covering it wall to wall for your teams. But thanks for joining us on the Dr. Bowser podcast, powered by Sports Guys Iowa. Matt and Seth, thanks for taking some time with us today.
You bet.
Yeah, no
Thanks for
problem.
having us.
Thank you.
Have a great